You don't need to learn anything else. Now, let me know if this sounds a little bit familiar to you. You wake up, you watch a YouTube video, you have lunch, you listen to a podcast. When you have any free time, you are listening to audiobooks and sitting down and reading another book, and then you have a massive list of books that you want to buy, and you already spent over thousands of dollars, euros, or whatever is a currency on courses that you did but never did anything about it. Now, I'm not here to shame you because you are doing all these things and learning all these things. Actually, this video I am making because I got inspired by one of Alisa Dow's videos on never starting because you're over consuming. The reality is that we are now being fed an infinite amount of content. There's people all over the place saying that you have to learn this, you have to take that course. I get ads from courses 24/7 saying that I need to learn this tactic, saying that I need to learn this new thing, that I need to learn this marketing trick. And then we become overwhelmed because there's so many things being fed at us at the same time. We don't have time to breathe, we don't have time to be ourselves, and we don't have time to act. There is always someone around the corner recommending you a new book, telling you about this whole new podcast that they're watching to, and telling you that you really need to do this in order to achieve certain things. You need to read this book before starting a business. So many things that we need to do that we get overwhelmed and we don't do it. And because we have so many things, so many informations coming at us back and forth, we get analysis paralysis, which is when you have so many different types of information that it makes you freeze and not being able to take an action. Now, if you're paralyzed over there, please make the action of clicking that subscribe button and like this video so we can keep making more videos like this to get you out of this paralysis. I'm here to actually bring you a little controversial topic. I actually will ask you to not study anymore. Now, I'm not saying to not study anymore for the rest of your life, at least for this time being. The shift now is actions. I used to do this thing as well. I used to buy courses, books, whatever, you name it. I spent thousands of dollars on courses that I never even actually used for anything. I was always trying to learn the new thing and I was never acting on anything. And that really got me real stuck, broke, and really without any perspective, because everybody was saying, oh, you gotta learn this, you gotta learn that, but nobody told me that I had to act. So today we're going to shift. We're no longer gonna study for at least 3 to 6 months, and we're gonna start acting. But here's the thing, why do we do this so much? Why do we overstudy? There are a few things. Number one is perfectionism. You always want to do more. You want things to be perfect. The perfect is the enemy of the well done. Of course, we want things to be well done. We want things to be amazing and as good as possible. But sometimes our perfectionism is anxiety with just a little cute mask. Another thing is that studying gives you a dopamine hit, right? You are watching a video, you are learning, and then you're like, oh my God, learning is amazing. Let me learn about this new thing. 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 Do you see what I did here? It's pretty much, it becomes an addiction and it becomes repetitive. And it is a cycle that it's like, okay, amazing. Let me learn something else. Amazing. Let me learn something else. Amazing. Let me learn something else. And at no point here in the cycle, you said, okay, so let me execute this. The problem is not that we are studying. The problem is that we're overdoing studying and we're underacting. And the other one, which is actually most hurtful to me, is the comparison trap. Because I used to compare myself to everyone. And the most hurtful thing is not comparing myself to everyone around me, is compare my now to someone else's now. Because I was saying, okay, I'm just starting, and then this friend of mine is making $10,000, $20,000, or even $1,000, and I'm here making zero. So me comparing mine now versus someone else's entire trajectory is just very unfair. And I was doing that to myself over and over and over again. And that's why we overstudy, because we feel like we need to be more prepared. We feel like we need this. We feel like we need to learn that extra one thing that is gonna take us to next level, but it's not necessarily how it works. And how do we break this cycle? Well, the first way to break the cycle is to take small little actions, and the smallest action that you can probably think of. And if you want to know how to actually take small actions, I made a whole video over here on how small actions changed my life, and it's linked over here. Let me tell you something. You know a lot. You know a lot more than you give yourself credit to. You know a lot more than people think you do. It's just that you were seeing this all wrong. You're saying, okay, I don't have any marketing skills. I didn't go to university. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But you have certain specific skills that you developed over your life. Maybe you communicate to people better than you think. Maybe you are good at crafting good emails. Maybe you are a good artist. It doesn't matter. You know a lot more than you think you do. And what I want you to do now, instead of having a learn list or a course list or a next book to buy list, I want you to do an action list. You're gonna figure it out, you're gonna map out which actions can I take today and tomorrow and throughout this week that I can do that's gonna move myself closer to the goal that I have in mind. Okay, so let's say I want to get fitter. What does fitter mean to you? Okay, so today I'm going to walk 100 steps, and tomorrow I'm gonna walk 150 steps. And then throughout the entire week, I'm gonna try to walk 5,000 steps. You see what I'm doing here? I'm creating small action lists so I can get over the hump, because sometimes we just need to get over the hump. It is scary to take the first step, but whenever the first step is a little bit smaller, it becomes easier. Again, I have a whole video about it. You can just check it over here on my channel. Once you have that list, once you have that action list, you're gonna set a time for it. You're gonna get a timer, whatever it's a timer on your phone, on your watch, or whether you have a physical timer. I found to myself that having a timer really helps you to get things done. Because for me, it's like me running against time, and then I try to be productive. And even if that timer is set for 5 minutes, I can guarantee you, if you have this small action list and you set a timer to do one of each of these activities, you will see that you will find yourself doing a lot more things, being a lot more productive, and actually acting on things they want to do instead of just postponing or procrastinating. And this is a crazy thing that I understood, and it took me way too long to understand, is that you're never fully ready. You never feel ready. You never feel like you can take that next step. You never feel like you're ready to go and conquer the world, because we see things very far. We see things like we want to climb Mount Everest tomorrow, and we don't even have the tactical gear. We don't even go for walks, and everything all of a sudden just feels enormous. Readiness comes with decisions. It doesn't come the way around. We don't get ready and then you decide. You decide and then you become ready by doing the thing. No time in my life I was ready before I decided. A lot of the times, as far as I can remember, as long as I can remember, all the things that started happening for me that led me to a little bit more revenue, that led me to progress in my career, it was because I made a decision. And then once I made that decision, I started becoming ready for it. It doesn't happen the other way around. Clarity comes on the other side of action. It doesn't come before action. And actually making mistakes, because we're terrified of making mistakes. I don't like to make mistakes, but we're terrified of making mistakes. But mistake is data. Mistake is data that you can use to learn. Mistake is data that you can use to see where you can go on the different path, or what path you should take. And knowledge is only good when you can actually use it. A lot of people say knowledge is power, and it really is if you use it, okay? Not use against other people. Not what I'm saying is that if you want to to use your knowledge, then it becomes power. Otherwise, it's just more space in your brain that's being occupied by useless information that you're never gonna use. Learning is very exciting. I love learning and I'm always learning, but sometimes I catch myself learning more and trying to learn more and trying to do another course, trying to do this, and I understand that it's myself procrastinating. So I sit down or I get a journal and I ask myself, what is it that I'm doing here and why am I procrastinating? Because if I'm procrastinating, it's because there's something there that is scaring me. And more often than not, it's just me scared of failing, me scared of being judged, me scared of being pointed fingers, me scared of, disappointing someone. So acting is a lot more fun. Again, learning is very exciting, but acting on something that you want to do is a lot more exciting. You will see, because things start to happen, and the way you learn when you start acting on the things that you want to is just completely different. Look, I love books. I read books every day, 15, 20 minutes, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. I love learning. I take courses, I pay for courses, I pay for education, and I think it's very important. But the type of learning that you get from doing the thing is very different, and it's also gonna get to the goalpost that you want, that you have in your life. So I'm urging you, maybe not urging you, I'm asking you maybe a little bit very cutely to go and try and do something. Go and try to take a little action. If you are confused about how to take actions, a very good book I recommend is The $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan, where it goes on process on how to start a business in a weekend, and it teaches the power of small actions and how you leverage it and how you start businesses with acting and not necessarily learning a lot more. And I know I recommended another book, but if you are a person that wants to learn, I urge you to take learning into books and things that help you take action and make things happen, because it's really exciting when you get to see things happening and unfolding in your life, and on the other side you can see yourself from far and you see how much you've learned and how far you've come. And if you're still watching this video, you are in the deep ends over here, and it means you care. It means that you want to do something different in your life. So I urge you to take action. But if you feel like you need a little bit more help to take action, I'm gonna say it again. I made a video over here that you can go watch on how small actions can change your life, how small actions changed my life entirely, changed my career, and now I can live a life where I am free, I can travel all over the world, and actually I'm living as a digital nomad. So I urge you to watch this video if you want to learn how small daily actions can change your entire life. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time here, because time is the only real asset that we have in life. Anyway, it's getting too long. I hope to see you in the next one. Much love. Bye-bye.